Hey there, McNulty family. First of all, let me tell you, thank you for the opportunity. This was such a fun project. It did take a lot longer than I anticipated between COVID and starting another dealership, another place, and things like that. So I really appreciate your patience. I really appreciate your trust in us, and I hope you're very happy with the final product. As you pick it up on Saturday, if you see anything once you get it home, or even once you're here, something that's concerning or something like that, I encourage you to take it home, use it, and we can get a scheduled appointment to fix anything that you may not like or not happy with from there. Of course, your other solution would be just to leave it with us and talk to me at the first of the week. But I think you're going to find, for the most part, it's very, very appealing as far as what we turned it into. And I know you've kind of watched for as we've done this from scratch. So shouldn't be any major surprises or anything else like that. So I'm going to get it paused here, turn around to the unit. We're going to start from the outside and talk about the upgrades and things like that I've done and explain how everything works. So here we go. Okay, for the first thing I want to talk about is some of the exits on the outside, like where the plug goes and what these little hose hookups are. These are all new. These weren't on there before. We kind of used some of the old holes that we had also to kind of make things work and things like that. So we have converted this to a 30 amp camper. Before, you just had one little 110 plug that plugs into. And I want to talk about a 30 amp camper. We're going to kind of arrow down here. This is your new power cord right there. You see it's all wrapped up and still brand new right off the lot. And what happens is we have one end, which is this end right here, that goes on the camper. I'll be plugging that in here in a second. The other end gets plugged into a plug like at a campground. I assume you're going to be putting one of these plugs in your house. My recommendation is when you get it done to make sure you check with us or something like that. This is not a dryer plug. This is not a plug that it's not a 220 plug. This is a 110 plug with 30 amps. So instead of having 220 and a ground and a 220 and a neutral and a ground, we have 110 neutral and a ground, or nor do we have 110 and 110 with a ground. This is 110 hot, neutral, and a ground. If you get an electrician, they can kind of, if you show them this, I promise you they will be very understanding on how this works for an RV plug. Again, it is not a 220 plug. It's not a dryer plug or a welder plug. This is a RV plug. If you plug it into one of those plugs, it's going to fry everything which we've done inside, unfortunately. Now, as I get ready to plug this in, again, this puts power inside the unit to charge the battery on the front, to turn on the lights, to run the microwave, the refrigerator, and all that other stuff. If you notice, we've got three little slots. One's got kind of like a little kick, like a dog leg. And as I open this up right up here, you can see we have one of those as a dog leg in there. We got to line those up. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this here. See if I can get this all on camera as we go. I line up the dog leg. Kind of. There we go. Put it in there. Then I twist it. Kind of locks it in place. And I got this column that goes on there. Now this is a shop cord, and it's yellow and kind of beat up, and you can see here. But it will give us power today. Again, yours is a brand new one right there, which will be inside the unit when you come pick it up. So again, this puts power inside. You do have a battery on board. This charges the battery and things like that to be able to run everything. Of course, we got a TV hookup in there now. So all that stuff, that's what all that does. Right next to it is our coaxial connection. I open up that little door. You see there's a coaxial. One of the last things we added here was a coax on the outside, so we could put like a satellite dish or run a cable cord out here. And so when you go put your own TV in, it goes inside, and I'll show you where it goes, so you can actually have cable inside. Right below that, all the way down here, I just want to kind of point this stuff out. Notice it looks like a garden hose hookup, but nothing in the middle. This is the drain. As I use the sink, this is where the water comes out. So I can put a bucket underneath here, or I can even put another water hose to it and run it away from where I need to go, 25 feet or something like that. It's what we call gray water because it's only coming from a sink. So it's completely illegal to dump on the ground. And that's what that drain is right there. Now you may be asking, well, how do we get water to it? Two different water systems in this now, which we didn't have before. Right here is where we hook up a water hose. Notice how it's got a little screen inside of there. That's how we know that's the actual water hose hookup. It's got a regulator built in there so it doesn't get over pressured. And this water connection does two things. We have a valve inside we turn one way, and it puts pressure inside to the sink. Another way fills up a water tank where we use a water pump, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes inside. But this is our city water hookup, and also our tank fill. It's both in the same one right here. Again, don't get confused. That one's got the screen in it and it's red. This lower one, which is lower than the other one, this is the drain that comes from the sink because we don't have any tanks on this this unit at all. Now, We did use this hole back here. This is where your original plug that plugged the unit in for power was, and it was only a little 110 plug, and since we converted to 30 amp, I couldn't get it to fit right here due to the wheel well, so how close it was, so I had to move that forward, and I just turned this into an electrical plug. That way you have some plugs outside, whether you want to put some lights out here, you know, or on the side of the camper or something like that. I figured it would make a little bit use instead of just having a hole there. That's what that does. Those are all the things that we added on this side. That's really all it. We kind of kept it simple and not too hard to figure out. You got your power, your water hookup, your water drain, your cable connection, and then an extra 110 plug right there, you know, for on the outside of the area. So I'm going to scoot around to the other side. We did add a couple. Actually, I'm just going to kind of fan this way to go around to the front. Another thing that we did, we had to do a little bit of frame repair up here because it was just so rusty. We added a propane tank and all brand new lines for the propane line, new regulator, and the tank was a used tank I had here. I didn't charge you for it, just when I had extra, and I didn't want to have to. It was really hard to get new ones right now just due to steel and everything. And then we got a 12-volt battery. That is a deep cycle battery right there. Now, if you leave this thing plugged in all the time, we definitely don't want it to charging this battery too far. So we got to talk about either disconnecting this battery or pulling the fuse inside, which I will go through here in a few minutes. The other thing that we did up here is what we did is complete all new wiring for the lights, and probably can't really see it because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing here, but I ran all new cable, all new lights for the lights, you know, running lamps, because the running lamps weren't working. So we have turn signals, stop lights, and running lamps. So we now have drive at night and have actual lights on. Those weren't working before. I had a little bit of an issue with those, so I had to rewire the whole thing just with all new wiring, and that's what kind of delayed me over the last little bit right there. The other thing that we added on the outside over here, and of course as you're walking through, we painted a lot of the small pieces and put back on there just to make it look a little bit better. But it's this right here. We have another plug on the outside. I know we're really wanting to get as many plugs as we can. This one has 2 plugs and then also a couple USB plugs, and it's got a nice gasket, so when I lock it in tight, it doesn't get any water in it or anything else like that. So that's on the outside, again, for more lights or maybe charging phones or something like that, as it were, on that end of it. So so that is it for the outside. That's everything that we've done to the exterior of it. I'm going to walk inside, pause this, walk inside, so we can start looking at things inside. So hang on one second for me. Okay, as we step up in here, the other thing we had was a step. I could not find a replacement step, and so I repaired this one as best we can. We can walk on it now, which is great, so I wouldn't be jumping up and down on it, too much, but as far as stepping on it, it will be just fine. So that is another good thing that we're able to add here. I'm going to step up and in here and close the door, just try to get some of the light out of here to kind of make it a little bit easier to see. So hang tight for me one second. We got a table, and hopefully this camera will shoot a wide enough lens as we get into a small camper to where things work just fine. So there we go. Alright, so just kind of give a quick tour around here, and you're going to hear some noise in the background because I got a little bit of a surprise for you also. Obviously we did a nice little frame around the door itself to kind of take, we used to have this big metal one and it stepped out a little too far. I was able to shorten that down. New walls. We got one cabinet up here just for storage. As we talked about, I couldn't get doors that long because it was so long, but works great just for blankets and things like that. We got the table. Unfortunately, the table came in as a new style. We get a black table with a white countertop, and if I can ever find one, I will definitely let you know, but it was just a change of year, and that's just the way it goes. We got 2 poles that holds that up. Of course, that comes down and makes a bed also when you want it to. We got another plug right here, and I put some USB plugs right here. That's all brand new, and so it can charge phones from right there. Of course, this one up here, all new wiring in the walls, along with the new plug right there. We couldn't put USB there. The wall wasn't thick enough. However, on this one here, right here, I got a little creative, another new plug, and we got some USBs on top of it, kind of going sideways, so you can plug your phone in here and just put your phone right here on this ledge, kind of like a phone charger ledge, if you will, that we built from this dinette. So we got that. Of course, the countertop, we got the cooktop, we'll go through that. Microwave, small fridge, the little brown box you see is the power converter. We're going to go through that. And last but not least, as a parting gift for you guys being so patient with me, I did end up picking up a little air conditioner. This is what I was talking about, an office air conditioner. It might be a little loud as we're sitting here and running this. I'm going to turn it off. But it's on wheels. It rolls out of the way. That way you can still make this bed. And I made a platform that actually goes up and goes out that window. Now, this comes out. That comes right off that window. It's like a screen, basically. And I got your screen right over here. Just put it in there. So you can always take it out and swap it. My goal is this, is I want you to try this and see if you're happy with it. If so, we can make it a permanent installation down the road. If not, you want to go with a window unit like back here in this window, or build one down underneath this this cabinet down here. We can look at that. I just was trying to come up with options. This was free of charge. This is a gift from me to you for being patient with me and dealing with it. So you got nothing invested in this, to give it a shot and see what you think. I just kind of covered it as a present, and wanted to make sure that everybody was taken care of, and again, showing my appreciation on that. So so that's that. I'm going to make a quick adjustment. Actually, I didn't get to show you around here. Of course, we got the bunk all the way that goes across here, and it unlatches and lays down. I did put a TV mount right on this side, and if you notice that coaxial, there's that coaxial that goes onto the outside. There's a plug. If you notice, this is just a rubber grommet. You can put a TV, mount a TV on here. It's got brackets. Plug can go through there, and it literally travels through each of the floors, and you see another one right there. And then there's a plug. Just want to get this open right quick. Right here for your TV. Whether you get an extension cord or something like that. I couldn't put it all up into the cabinet. There's just no way to do that without taking it all back apart. So I decided to run it all the way down here. And again, we got these little grommets that go through each level, and that goes through all of these inside from here, and then up to that one right there. So, and of course, you got a nice big closet here, like what we talked about. Be able to store things. See if I can get back far enough to even see this with this camera. So it's all the way up and down. Nice storage. We got a nice little entry level for everything from purses to book bags, and then some covered storage down below from there. We shoot up to the sky. Of course, we put in our new panels all the way through. We got a ceiling fan, and we got a couple of lights that we can turn on, whether it be one light or two lights. And we have a couple of these. I have one here. I put one back here, and then I also put one back here in the actual kitchen itself to give a little bit. And it's really enough light for this whole thing, to be honest with you. And these are LED. They don't pull a lot of lamp. The idea was, when we first started designing this, if you remember, I left this plug here because the thought was we can put like a chandelier right on the edge of this and let it hang down, or we can even go all the way up to the ceiling up here and let it hang down. But we never really got around to doing that. You guys never, I don't know if you found anything yet or not, but it's also something you can probably just attach on your own if you want to. Now, let's go back to this fan to see if I can get it all in here and still be able to work everything. We basically have a black knob, and that cranks it up. And I'm going to go ahead and crank it up for you, kind of show you how it works. And once I crank it up, you see the daylight starting to come through. I got a couple buttons, which are right here, to be able to turn it on and off. So I can say fan on, and then turn it on from there, and it picks up speed. And this is actually sucking air out. So it's actually pulling it out of the camper. So if I were to open these windows, it's almost like an old attic fan, and it just pulls out the air as it goes. So very quiet, moves about, it's like 90 cubic feet of air per minute or something like that. It's a fairly large amount as far as pulling a nice draft through this whole thing. And of course we can just crank it back down, and then also have this turned off from right here. Turn that off. Excuse me. Okay, step 2 here. Now we got kind of the fan out of the way. I want to show you what's underneath this dinette seat. This is where our water tank is. It was factory, and of course we replaced it with a brand new little 8-gallon water tank. We also have a water pump you see down there, and we have 2 valves that I need to point out. The first one is that valve right there. Now that valve decides whether it's going to fill the tank or it's going to be for city water hookup. The way that it is right now, horizontal if you will, that is actually for city water hookup. If I were to turn this down that way and have it point down to this bottom line, that is actually filling up the tank. So that would actually put water in this tank, which is how we're going to run it here in a few minutes, and allow it to pull pressure from there. Now, that being said, you also see one more other valve down there on the floor. That's to drain this tank. So in the winter time, before freezing weather hits, you want to make sure that this tank is drained if you have any water inside of it. Now, to run this water pump, to pull from there to go to the sink, we have a water pump switch. That water pump switch is conveniently located right there on the side of the cabinet. It's up, which means it's on. And if I go over here and turn on my water, right there is my water flow. And of course, it's coming out outside where that drain is, where I'd have a bucket or another line at that point. So it only works one way because we don't have hot water, we only have cold water. So if you try to open it up all the way down from here, you get just pretty much nothing. And then I got to go all the way up to there and then turn it on by pulling it out, and that's how it actually runs to get water through it. And that is pulling from the pump. You want to turn that pump off when you're not using it. That way you don't have to worry about it going drying up or anything else like that. The next thing is our cooktop. Again, it burns up that propane tank. We can turn this right here to the light side. You see that right there? It says light. And as soon as I do that, I can start clicking this. And you know, I don't even know if I got the, see if I got it. Yep, there we go. Just took a little minute. So that one turns that one on. And same thing with this one. I turn it to light. I got to hold it in like a thermistor almost. Turn it over here, turn it in, and if I twist it, it lights right there also. Of course, they're adjustable for low and high and things like that. It will heat this thing up pretty quick, so I wouldn't be cooking too much in here, but that's completely up to you on that end of it. Down below us is a microwave, brand new microwave. Of course, it's plugged in. You see the lights on it for there. Works just like at home. You open it up, it's got a turntable. You put whatever you want in there, and you close it up and put your time to take off. What's in there right now are all your manuals and things like that for the air conditioner, for the microwave, for the cooktop. Everything that I installed appliance-wise that needs a user manual or something like that is in there. Of course, this down here is where our breaker box is. This is another new piece of equipment we put in that you didn't have. On the right-hand side, you see all those colored things. Those are the fuses for the 12-volt side, the lights, the battery, the USB chargers, all that other stuff. And then over to the left are the 110 breakers. Those run all the plugs. The plug for the microwave, the plug for the air conditioner that's running right now, the plugs for the outside, just like at home. So we have our two different electrical systems, our 110 and our 12 volts, all in that. And this door has just got a little finger on it. You press it, and it locks it to get it open. I press it, and it falls open. So that's where that is right there. Over to us is a nice little glass door fridge. This is 110 only. Only works when we're plugged in to a shoreline, into a power, but works very, very well. We open it up. It's got a nice little blue light in there. We do have a thermostat control over here in that front, and also an on and off switch if you want to run it or not, and works great for drinks, things like that. I know it's not that big, but the lightweight world on campers can be very, very tiny and really kind of create some space from, you know, and got to fit in tiny little areas. I did build in just two little small shelves, like one right here and one down there. Similar to just for aesthetics. Also, they can be useful. Everything from wallets to phones and things like that. Up in this area, this works great for anything from an umbrella to a fire extinguisher. They make up fold-up brooms that would actually fit in there. So I was just trying to be a little bit creative and not just one flat panel, but actually have some look to it on that end of it. Of course, we did all the way up here, and I don't know if I opened these up yet. We got a nice cabinet up here. I'm going to open one of these up, kind of show you inside, all the way in the back. It's just for storage. Nothing else really up in there, but except for storage. I want to show you what's underneath this dinette, because I already showed you what's under the other one. It's just storage. Of course, our floor is all brand new on this, so it makes a great little spot. Small campers, some of the issues that we have is we sleep so many. We sleep one here, two in the back, and one up on the bunk. So, that's for people. You got to have storage for their stuff. This is great for duffel bags, suitcases, blankets, pillows, things like that. And where we always get caught at is not having enough room to be able to put our stuff for people that go. And of course, you can keep it in your car, but this is great because you can keep it in the RV also and not have to worry about, room. Of course, these are your old cushions also from there. We also have a ton of storage. This right here pulls out. I got to get this air conditioner out of the way to kind of show you how this works and how the upper bed works. So I'm going to pause it here for a second and come back to you on that. But we got tons of storage underneath that. It's all open, from that end of it. So give me a second. I'll see if I can't get this pushed around. So as you see here, this is storage all underneath the back bed. Again, it's all open, so I can put a duffel bag on this side, a bag on that side, and a bag on that side, and everybody's stuff can pull in. And as you see, we put all new wood back here because it was just all rotted and unframed. This just comes down. See if I can do it with one hand. Gonna kind of be loud. There we go. And of course, this is made to pull out. So once you get your cushions in here, it makes into a double bed all the way across. And if the air conditioner was completely out of the way, it's just a little too hot for that. Of course, sliding this back, it's a nice tight snug fit. So go all the way back, and once you get your cushions in here to make it a couch, you put some throw pillows across the back of that and have a nice little lounge area, and of course with where the TV's at, to make it nice and enjoyable for that. The upper bunk, you guys seen this work before, and I can't really do it with one hand. We undo this latch here, undo that latch right over there, and this part will literally fold out, and it rides right along this rail on both sides. This is a factory rail. I didn't change anything here. These are all right back in where they were at, and that makes another bed up top that you got to kind of crawl into. So you got a bed up there, a bed down here, and of course the dinette folds down to be a bed from up there. So anyway, so that I think about completes it. We talked about the water system, the water pump. If I had that valve turned the other way, we could put in the city water. All the electrical is all brand new. We put in a 12-volt system, a new power converter, microwave so you can warm things up, small refrigerator for cool drinks. We talked about the stove top and how that is put in. You can cook things with that. The air conditioner, and again, it's a roller. And this is one thing to mention before you come pick this up on Saturday. When you do come pick this up Saturday, this thing will roll around. We can't tow it down the road with this, so I encourage you to take this out and maybe put it in the back of your car or truck or something like that. To kind of give you an idea how it comes apart, let me show you right quick. And there's a manual in here. There's a remote control for this air conditioner. There's also, you can set up on Wi-Fi where you can download an app and turn it on and off with your phone. So as you're getting ready to leave or something like that. But if I just hit the power button right here, it's going to shut it down. Notice how the little gate starts closing on its own, which is pretty cool. Hopefully this wasn't too loud and you could hear me this whole time, otherwise I'm going to have to redo this video. So this is built to kind of just come and pull right out. So I'm not going to pull it out right now in case you want to see it work when you get here. We also have this down here, this big collar. It says lock and unlock, maybe too hard to see, but basically you just twist it and this unlocks, and then this will roll, you know, where it needs to go. Read the manual on this because there is, if you notice, this is a little water hookup and there's one down there. So that holds the actual condensation from the air conditioner. It has to be emptied once a day as it's been running all day. Some of the things we could do is we could make this permanent. Instead of having this big tube go all the way up here, I can put the screen back in up there, just go straight outside or go through the cabinet outside, and then run that hose straight through the floor, straight through the wall, or even tie it in through this cabinet with the other drain so it all goes out. So it makes it more of a permanent. The issue with that is we won't be able to pull this bed out. And again, with small campers, it's kind of a give and take world on what we can and can't do on that. And again, that's your screen that goes in the window that the air conditioner is tied into. I didn't really show you this one, I guess. There's a plug down here also, and this one has USB ports in it also, so you can put in phones or chargers or whatnot at that point. And of course your TV, as you can tell, it is on a turning, so I can let it pull this out if I wanted to get a TV and come this way to where we can watch it from the dinette also. It works really well for that. So and it's stiff enough where it doesn't go anywhere, while it's traveling. Again, the air conditioner's got to be pulled out, so make sure you grab that, and I'm going to make a note on the RO so they help you do that in case you have any problems with that. And of course, all the windows, we did lube those up and got all of them work. Some of them are a little bit tighter than others, but as you can tell, you just turn this. We did have a piece of glass that we had to replace on this one, so I got that in place also. And all of them do open and close for a nice good breeze. Turn on the fan to pull some air, or you can run that little air conditioner also to help cool it off in here. So by all means, if you have any questions at all, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to run it by you and let you know how it all works. This has been just a great fun project. Haven't done a Shasta in a very, very long time. I did one with my dad about 10 years ago. Mainly it's been Airstream since then. So this was such a wonderful project to work on. I really appreciate you guys letting me do it. Please send me pictures of it once you get it painted, and I think it's going to be an amazing piece of artwork, and also just a beautiful little camper. Perfect little size. So thanks again, and from all of us here at Southland RV, we appreciate it very much. God bless you. Have a great day.